Lilies and lilies are no more. Toxic dripping sour salads really trying to wreck that day. Yes, it's the end of the war. Terror turnips, weeds of woe. Peril pines, it's time to go. Danger, danger, please just know. Yes, it's the end of the war. No more looking lettuce, no more rotting marigolds. A savage silence, fury flowers, a vacuum vegetables. Get and you wobbly weeds on your bike, son. Off it off, you bloody go. All right, son, off you blooming go.
You've flown ships at max speed. You've felt the power of the 30-megawatt mining laser. You've experienced the efficiency of the MB4 mining machine.
Wow.
But it leaves every hardcore miner with just one question.
Why can't I get a shave that's that fast, close and efficient?
Introducing the Saracen MB5 shaving drone.
It's so smooth.
Combining the power of a mining laser with the convenience of a drone.
It's like every hair is targeted by a fighter and destroyed.
Saracen's patented shaving drone attaches to your face at the start of the day. Leave it to do its work, and when you come back to check, your face is shaved.
He's so smooth.
It's like I'm mining my face.
The Saracen MB5 shaving drone.
Now I feel manly.
Saracen Shaving, making shaving an unnecessary adventure.
Dreams. Humanity's dreams. The hope to live among the stars. From early times, we've gazed up to the heavens and wondered if one day we could travel there. Maybe even live there. The Brewer Corporation has made this dream a reality, constructing intricate cathedrals of metal, circling numerous planets across thousands of systems in our human bubble. Why stay rooted in a gravity well when you can be free in orbit, free to dream, free to live, and one day to become a commander and be free to blaze your own trail. Brewer Corporation, the first step into the unknown. Come join us. Be free.
Hauling steel most every night. I can't find those compasses, it's driving me so wild. Hauling steel with all my might. Just tell my next of kin I lost my way while I was trailblazing. Now there's a station to my left, there's a racing track below me now without a turn to going round and round. Yeah, there's a burning in my eyes, maybe I should sleep, but I just need one more run, just one more run tonight. One SEO, take it home, do it all again. That's all. Fill my home, fill it full. Yeah, take my shields, squeeze it in. I just wanna play. So I could build an office if I never left. This damn house I set up is glued to me, and yes, I need a bio break, but I just can't stand up. Who needs that dignity when I can have a station of my own? One last time, all in steel, most every night. I can't find those composites, it's driving me so wild. All in steel with all my might. Just tell my next of kin I lost my way while I was trailblazing. Now there's a station to my left, there's a racing track below me. Now without a turn going round and round. Yeah, there's a burning in my eyes. Maybe I should sleep, but I just need one more run, just one more run tonight. One more run tonight. Boom, 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 doo, 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 doo. Boom, ba, ba, da, da, ba, ba, da, da, ba, ba, da. Boom, 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 ba, doo, doo, doo. La, da, ba, da, 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 ba, da, da.
Lave radio. It's even louder than me. Wait a minute. That can't be right.
welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from an orange sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 539 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, otherwise known as Colin Ford, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our SRV Banksy, the legendary Commander Alec Turner.
Hello, good evening.
We have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psychit, otherwise known as Claire. Who's gone quiet?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hello. Hello, sorry, I was still laughing too hard. I'm so sorry.
Oh, she's laughing too hard already, and we haven't even started yet. That's a bit of a worry.
Funny though, that was funny.
What was funny?
The Lave Radio.
Mickey Mouse.
The Mickey Mouse Lave Radio. That was from last
Me
week.
squeaking from last week.
Yeah,
yes.
it wasn't on the show. It just happened before.
See, I go away for a couple of weeks, and
There's all sorts of in-jokes now. I've got all our own in-jokes.
I'm missing out the in-jokes.
You should know what happens when Dad's away.
No, we're not. This is worrying. But that is the head of Health and Safety, Commander Aid Levice, otherwise known as Ben Mus Woodward. And,
Greetings, Commanders.
And yeah, I'm a bit worried now. So
I've been away as well, Colin, for what it's worth.
yeah. So if you wish, you can join us live. We're hanging out in game in open. I am attempting to get to Lave Station to join the Chris Mark IV who's hanging out there. I do believe Ben's flying around as well. But if you cannot join us in game, then you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio. You'll find us there as well. So let us go around the crew, see what we've all been up to for the last week, and we'll start with Claire this week. It sounds interesting with paddling pools.
Yeah, I think you should know I'm very badly burnt. It's not that bad. It's honestly not that bad. But I made the decision. It was very hot yesterday. Like down this end, it hit like 32 real feel kind of thing. You know what the Met check says. And it was very, very warm. And I've bought a paddling pool because of course I have. And I just got in it yesterday. And then I got burnt not super bad, but enough that there is a massive, there is a noticeable proper line across my thigh, which is uncomfortable. But that's kind of been my week. It's like getting burnt yesterday and just like trying to deal with the heat. I have I built a new Lego thing. There was a deal on the big Lego orchid.
Right.
The big Lego orchid, which is a really, really pretty build. The pot was insanely difficult to make. It had a lot of technique parts, but I think I'm only short like 3 Lego botanicals now, and then I've done all of the Lego botanical stuff, which is really well, all of the ones that haven't been discontinued. So that's very cool, and they're really fun. So there's that. In game, I've not been hauling. I've not done a lot of gaming. I got to the end of Act 2 of the Altars, and that's now gone in the bin because I'm not using that anymore. I'm not playing that anymore. And we have there's been a new update in Planet Coaster. Frontier have been busy. There's a new update in Planet Coaster which brings in ride photography, like a modular souvenir shop, the fairy tale and the pirate theme. So that's been really, really fun as well. Really fun to play about in Elite. I did a little bit of power play stuff, and then I started planning because it's Disability Pride Month, so Special Effects 10K Your Way has started, and I spent a long time just specifically chatting to Alec in chat on stream, where we started we started planning the next buckyball race, which is going to happen this month, but more on that later.
Well, we'll move on to the legendary Alec Turner then.
I call this legendary stuff. So aside from lots of stupid race planning, far too much maths for a live stream, I don't know, I haven't done much in real life. I randomly, over the last few weekends, we've been rewatching the last 3 Star Wars films. So that's Force Awakens and whatever the other 2 are called.
That's a good sign if you can't remember.
You have my sympathy.
Well, do you know, this might be controversial. Force Awakens is not a bad film. It's
an exact copy of the original Star Wars.
That may be so, but it's entertaining from start to finish, actually.
Yeah, I will give you that all of them. I'll give you that for episode 7. Episode 8 can just suck a dick.
8 is nonsense. It was doing my head in how mad it was. Like they're all under siege. They're being chased by the Empire. They're under siege. They can't do anything. And then 3 of them swan off to a casino in the middle of the film. It's like, what? What just happened? Why can't they all go to the casino? Why can't they all go to the casino? It's insane. Anyway, and then, funnily enough, the last one's, if you skip through some bits, the last one's not terrible.
I think the last one is as good as you could do with it, given where it's left off from.
But
I thought they were fine.
But how can you go to a casino in the middle of?
You've not watched the prequels or the original.
Well, I know the story. I don't hide under a rock to avoid Star Wars. To be in 2025 and not know the story of Star Wars, you'd have to be a bit strange. But I know the story, and I went in expecting a story like the rest of Star Wars, and that's what I got, and it was a fun enough film.
Yeah. Anyway, Force Awakens. The big news is Force Awakens not as bad as people make out. It's actually quite good. Anyway, let's move on from this highly controversial subject.
No, yeah, you don't want to start with the Star Wars wars. No.
Oh my god! I think we've got another one now. Like Vault 862 enjoys the sequels as well.
Cool.
Right. Si, how do I ban people from Twitch again?
No, you can't. You can't do that, Ben.
Why?
Right,
They need
onwards.
sympathy. They need uplifting.
I hope Spherelance's is joking. Like, what's the Attack of the Clones is kind of awful, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, let's come on. Move on.
Move on.
Yeah.
In game, I've been doing a bit of time trial racing because so in the Elite Racers Discord, Duck and a bunch of his and my cohorts do a regular Saturday night. It's called Cafe. I don't even go, so I can't remember what it's called because I have to stop playing at that time. Cafe Saturdays, I want to say. So if you fancy sort of meeting up with some racers and just hooning around somewhere, they do that pretty much every Saturday in the evening. And they go time trial racing quite often. So then I look on Sunday and I'm slipping ever further down all the leaderboards. So I've been trying to catch up a little bit on that. The main thing I've been doing this week is really interesting to me, and I apologize if everyone knows this already, but it's been fascinating to me. So, in my colonization system, of which I have one, and is basically themed around the idea that it's a sort of place for racing. So I specifically chose somewhere that was very close to Fullerene C60, which is the home of the Buckyball Racing Club, and it meant that I took with me the Race Marshals faction, as well as the Furry Cats faction, because Commander Furry Cat won the prize to name the system and put the Race Marshals in, but he put the Furry Cats in as well. So yes, I deliberately chose to go from there so that the Race Marshals would follow me into my system. And I have built various places that I've then created time trials for. So it's all, my plan is all coming together nicely, and I've named things after things to do with racing, and I have a sort of racing bar, and so it's all working nicely. But what I realized was that the race marshals were like the secondary faction. So my stations, Happy Bottom Riding Club and Drakir Point, which the Burrs built for me, the two big stations are owned by the Furry Cats, which seemed a bit kind of off theme. So I decided to try a bit of BGS, which I've never really done. Certainly not solo BGS, where there's nobody out here really, so I'm sort of experimenting mostly by myself. So I start running missions for the race marshals, in a concerted attempt to boost their influence. So I'm choosing influence missions, and lo and behold, it only took me 5 days maybe, but I managed to push the race marshals up to a dead heat with the Furry Cats, which I gather is the idea. And they have now locked into an exact heat in influence, and they have a pending civil war, which is awesome. And like I didn't fully realize how all this shit works, but like, so you kind of don't get to choose which asset they're going to fight over, but the race marshals, who I'm obviously on the side of, stand to lose Slam and Sammy's, which is a bit of a shame because it's quite a cool bar with lots of tunnels and things to race through, a space bar. But if I can help the race marshals win, then I will take over the Happy Bottom Riding Club. It's really cool, the BGS, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
The
Alex.
BGS is awesome.
Yeah, seeing it up close.
2014.
Seeing it up.
Can say it all this time.
But it's, I don't know, just I would urge people, or not everyone obviously, but if you've got your colonization system and it's not too heavily trafficked by other players, if it's out in a fairly quiet fringe of the galaxy, and you've not dabbled with this before, it is entirely possible for a single player in the course of a week without grinding that many missions to push the faction you fancy upwards and start taking over assets and things. So yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Lastly, I'll mention this in Community Corner, but I finally started a forum thread that I've been meaning to start for ages, and I have been doing some tourism. So I've been visiting some very interesting colonized systems, but we'll talk more on that in a bit.
Excellent. All right, well, Ben, you've been away as well, so what have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been away for about as long as you, if not longer, I think, haven't I, Colin? It feels like bloody ages. Oh, yeah. It feels like bloody ages. Anyway, I've done Smegall and gaming for about the past month. I did finally manage to finish Final Fantasy 15, but apart from that, my gaming life has been Pokemon or Grand Theft Auto 5 on my little handheld, or playing games of Uno with the kids. I did go and pre-order the new Expanse game by Owlcat, though.
Hey, nice.
A, Owlcat, B, Expanse. Kind of had to get done. And I've been enjoying the Owlcat Owlcat Discord and their Expanse section in that. I've been enjoying that quite a lot. And it's lovely seeing just the mix of old Expanse hands with people who are Owlcat fans, people who, I guess they have to be Owlcat fans because they are on the Discord, but then go off and slag Owlcat off for making overly complicated games that require Excel to even play the damn things. And they've never seen anything about the Expanse. But then you're also getting people talking Langbelter to all these guys, and everyone's just like, it's such a lovely melting pot of new community. It's great. I've been loving that. In real life, I went up to Manchester and went to the Bar Citizen that was up there. I've never been a fan of Brewdog, really. That may or may not be controversial, I'm not quite sure. But the Bar Citizen thing was in a Brewdog bar, so, funnily enough, they served Brewdog Ale. And I learned I discovered something called Rocky Road, which is a 7-point-something% stout. And my God, that was gorgeous. And very, very dangerous. I did meet, I saw Chris Roberts. I didn't quite have the guts to go up and fanboy all over him. But I did go and speak to a bunch of the devs. And it was lovely. I wound up talking to a couple of devs who, I think that was on a Saturday, and they literally joined that Monday. So they basically gathered a bunch of us, and they were like, can you tell me about this ship, please? Tell me about this ship. What the hell does this do? What's your favorite thing? And it was lovely, just these new guys sucking all of our brains out as they try to learn their new jobs. that was quite fun.
Cool.
I was worried for a second there.
Colin, there is a photograph of myself and some other guys carrying a gentleman into the bushes as well on Star Citizen's socials somewhere.
Oh.
But we don't worry about these things.
What goes in Star Citizen in Bar Citizen stays in Star Citizen.
Now, it was their community manager's idea.
It does sound like their version of Buckaroo.
It was also my missus's birthday, though. That was t'other weekend, and she decided she wanted to go and visit London. And we went on the London Eye, as well as going to a steak restaurant in the hotel and then a steak restaurant in London. So yeah, very, very carnivorous weekend, as well as obviously boiling ourselves. I was delighted by how good the air conditioning was in the London iPods. But I want to ask you guys, and possibly you, Alec, the most. Mm-hmm. When I'm assuming you've been on the London Eye.
Yep.
I went on the London Eye back in 2000 when it was first done. Or 2001 when it was first done, whatever.
Okay.
I remember the pods having guides on them telling you about all the things that you could see as you got higher and higher and higher.
What, humans?
I think I remember a human, but I could be wrong there. I'm sure it was a human guide.
No.
But,
no, I've not had a guide.
They didn't have that when EDF took over. I know as much as that.
Yeah, I don't know who EDF is apart from...
EDF was in the energy company. When EDF took over...
Okay.
When EDF took over, they definitely didn't have that. Right. I've been on it. I've been on it 3 times, I think. I can't remember it ever being it ever doing it, but that's only ever since
The reason
I don't know when that
why
was.
the reason why I think I remember it is I have a definite memory that could be entirely fake of somebody pointing out to me something about the roof of the building opposite Queen Elizabeth Tower. So it's like the roof directly above where one of the exits is for Westminster train station. And they went off and told a whole load of stories about that. And
You know, that might have been just a person. You might have been just another person.
It could have just been somebody who knew what the hell they were talking about.
Telling a story.
That is quite possible.
Yeah, I've been on the London Eye twice, and I'm afraid we never got anybody that knowledgeable. Mostly a lot of people from out of the country all making ooh and ah noises, and that was it. Or a lot of Americans looking unimpressed.
What's annoyed me now is Ben talking about a roof has triggered a memory of somebody telling me something about a roof and how it was like fake, and if you look behind it, you could see that it was all just a facade. And but it seems so unlikely that it will be a guard in every pod. There's quite a lot of pods. That's a lot of staff. I don't think so.
I mean, back in it was like V, and it was all done for the millennium.
Yeah, it's true.
So it could be for that year they had it done, because I'm sure I remember the London Eye only going for a couple of years, and then it was going to get taken down, and here in the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I always found that very worrying because, like, the first 2 years or something of when it was the Millennium Wheel, and it was like it was only built to last a couple of years, and then here we are, how many years longer? And I'm thinking,
25 years longer, seeing as it's done for the Millennium.
It's always that thing. People buy it because it's a good cash grab and all of those kind of things. But Ben is about to be assimilated back into the Matrix, so it's
That's where I belong.
Yeah, I mean, you've caught onto something. You've caught onto a glitch.
Again.
I did go and am I still roboting him, or am I back in the room?
You're right.
You're fine for the moment.
Okay. So yeah, I was upset that we didn't even have like a robot guide or like just an audio tape or something playing over the speakers. But that was what it was. I still enjoyed it. It was still fine. I did go and see F1, which I really enjoyed. I went to see Elio and live action How to Train Your Dragon as well. I think F1's my favorite out of the 3 of them, but I really enjoyed How to Train Your Dragon, I have to admit. Even though I'm not a fan of these live action things and I don't believe in them, I quite enjoyed it.
Yes. But mind you, those How to Train Your Dragon films are very, very good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How long before we get a live action Toy Story? God, please no.
Oh God! There's a new Toy Story film coming out, isn't there, or being worked on, or something?
Is there?
Cool.
I'm sure there is.
Was it Toy Story 5? Now we're really milking it.
Do you know? Sorry.
Slight
sidetrack, but the absolute epitome of milking it for Toy Story was it Toy Story 3, where the kid made his own toy out of like a fork and a straw.
Oh,
Forky! And then they actually made a Forky that you could buy in the shops for like 25
Well,
quid.
of course they did.
Can they not see the irony of that? It's
Capitalism,
stunning.
though, man. Capitalism. It's the future, I swear.
It's stunning.
Mind you, that's it's not much fun asking for one of those in Glasgow. Can I have a Forky, please? What? Bang. Anyway,
so that's been about my life anyway.
Lovely. Right. Well, today is my first official time of being a man of leisure. So so it's mostly been a lot of scanning job boards and first round interviews, of which there are quite a few in the pipeline, thankfully. Believe it or not, after coming back from a holiday, I have a tan. I am no longer light blue. I am actually genuinely brown.
Hey.
Did you burn yourself as well?
Shut up. That only happens in the UK.
No, I did burn myself. I've got a burnt shoulder with peeling skin, but that has now faded into a nice brown cancer.
You just reminded me, after walking around London with sunglasses on, I also managed to look like a panda.
Lovely.
Yeah.
But you didn't learn Kung Fu.
No.
Right. What's the point then?
I ate all the pies.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Right. The missus can't believe that I've actually got a tan. She says that it's what's this person here who's not white? There is someone who screams white. That's me. Yes, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, I've now got a new bike which replaced the old one which the frame snapped on, so that's good.
How many times has this one tried to kill you?
None so far. I'm still getting used to it though. It's got time. So lots of elite. I am so sick. I mean, as much as I like having my my fleet carrier, I am so sick of taking the T9 up from orbit, docking, going back down. I've got about another 20 runs to do to complete my asteroid base, and it is soul destroying.
Don't do it. You've got a ship coming up in a couple of weeks that is going to have a much bigger cargo and it'll be less trips.
No, I know that, but I just want this base out of the way.
Don't do it, mate. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Anyway, so I've been doing that, but the CG, I'd like to put down my my marker here for caping the most capage that has ever been, because we landed from Lanzarote at 2 o'clock in the morning. The CG ended at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I spent 2 hours grinding away to get up to 75% in order to get my guns. So my
and your missus was okay with this?
She was asleep. she was asleep, and sort of I was no way I was going to be able to sleep in that time. So that's it. I want to. I've got the best capage. Put it that way.
It's quite impressive, Casey. You got further than me in 2 hours than I managed to get in an entire week of not really bothering very hard.
Can't do any of it.
I do have one issue with my fleet carrier, though. Now, my fleet carrier, its code ends in N4Z. Now, that by itself isn't too bad until you see a lot of the punctuation where they put square brackets at the end every time. Now, if you write that out, it looks something like offensive. And yeah, is there a way to? Is there a way to change?
No, there's no way to change that. You're stuck with that, mate.
Amazing.
Right. Oh, that's nice to know. I mean, I know I was saying I'm white, but I didn't mean it like that. Right. Moving on. Development news. What have the devs said this week? Well, two things first. We'll go with the sad news first. Obviously, Arf left yesterday, and yeah, he's put a nice little message up on X if people want to see it, which is very nice. So as of now, we no longer have an Arf. However, the other interesting thing that we got was that they announced a pricing restructure for the early access ships. Now, ships are going to be priced differently dependent on, and someone else put this in, not me, girth.
That's got to be my husband. There is no way anyone but my husband wrote that in chat.
So at the moment, small and medium ships will be priced as follows, which is standard. These haven't gone up. So your standard ship will be 16,520 arcs, which is about £8, and the Stellar price is 33,000, which is about 16. Large ships, however, like the aforementioned, which we will be talking about very soon, that's gone up to 19,020, Why the 20?
Very precise, isn't it?
Yes, isn't it?
There's probably a very good reason.
And the Stella is 38,000. So divide that by 2,000, and that's the price you get. So you're talking about £9, and yeah,
19.
19.
19.
Yeah, but admittedly, when you see what's coming with the Stella Arc price, you see why it's that expensive. So yeah. And also at the end, a cheeky mention of 2 additional ships. We have plenty of exciting upgrades or updates to share later this year, including the 2 additional new ships and a brand new feature. We'll be sharing more of those in a couple of months. So just to pontificate about that, do you reckon these other 2 ships will be big?
Yeah, 100%. I think this is why it looks like this, why everything looks the way that it does. I think the new launch ships 2025 onwards, all of it feels very coupled with Zach or whoever, I think it was Zach saying, I think we've filled all of the medium ship roles that we need to fill. I'm expecting 2 large ships as the next 2. What they'll do and what they'll be is something in itself, but I do believe we'll have large ships going forward, for at least for this year.
Got Elvis Kremen and Volt 862 both saying, "Give me the boa, please." I mean, I'm not with you there because we've already got the Panther Clipper 2 coming, which is supposed to be bigger. But anyway, so that's the development news. We'll be discussing the Frontier Unlocked later in the show. So I will hand over to Alec for the community news this week.
And now to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Right, it's quite a short one this week, relatively. But let's go down these. First thing is something of mine. I mentioned it in the opening. So a couple of I'm going to blame all this on Tokoso. So a couple of times, Tom has asked me, do I know of any interesting colonization systems he can go and visit? And I sort of do, but I've sort of forgotten them, and I've had to scroll back and look for screenshots, and I've been thinking of doing this for a while. So I have created one of my classic Alec Turner forum threads, Alec's Guide to Interesting Colonization Systems and Stations, and I'm basically asking for suggestions. I've thrown in a bunch that I'm already aware of, but so yeah, if people have seen or have colonized themselves, something particularly interesting. So things I'm not looking for are a Coriolis with noob hammers. There's hundreds of them. They look fantastic. I'm glad you've got a Coriolis with noob hammers, but that doesn't really qualify. But if you've got something a little bit special, if you've got a Coriolis with noob hammers that's close to maybe a neutron star and is beautifully lit. If you've paid for cosmetics, I'm particularly interested in trying to get an example of stations where somebody's paid for cosmetics so people can visit those and see what they look like. If you've got, I don't know, an Odyssey settlement that's perched on the side of a vertical cliff and looks amazing, or if you've carefully hand selected a tidally locked world with an oxygen atmosphere, so it's the pinkest station you've ever seen in the world. Yeah, I'm looking for real standout colonization systems, and there's a forum thread, and just go and shout them out, and I shall jump in my ship and go and visit, and then pop it in the list. We've already got quite a nice list going, so yeah, I'm hoping we'll get some good ones. Right, so that's that. Next up, it's a nice shout out to I think we've had a few of these, but Primetime Casual, who many people will remember from way back, is kind of quietly back playing Elite Dangerous, which is nice. And I really like Primetime Casual's videos. They're very chill. They're quite sort of.
I wouldn't exactly call speedballing chill.
Yeah, no, these aren't speed bowling. These are just very these are chill. These are just exploration videos. He has a very soothing voice. They're sort of in memory of his mum, dear old mum. So it's yeah, they're good. So this one he visits a bunch of nebula and just talks about nebula, and it's lovely stuff. And we one of these sort of drops every month or so, and they're really nice. Right, next. So we have been mentioning the 10K Your Way thing. So I saw this. I just realised I completely forgot to watch. It was live premiere tonight at about 6:30. Don't know if anyone saw it, but it was Beetlejuice.
It's really good. It's great. It's Jude. It's brilliant.
Excellent, good. So Beetlejuice is doing. She's not doing 10,000 paintings. She's doing I don't know how many paintings, but 10 paintings of things with the letter K featuring in their name, I guess. What did she say? What she's going to do? Is she releasing one a day or one a week? Or
next one's coming out, I believe, on the 4th of July. Her next video, so pretty regularly. But she's got one, and the next one coming out. This one was the one of the most important Ks for Elite, Dr. K, and talks about that. And the image is really lovely as well. And
brilliant.
It's a 3-minute video. Go watch it. Give Jude some views. Give it a like. Let it shoot up people's algorithms. That's a funny way of saying that, but let it shoot up people's algorithms and go so more people check out Jude's amazing stuff and raise money for special effect.
Brilliant. Shoot it up your algorithm. Next, oh yes, so people will remember Quiz Engine, who sadly passed away, but had an amazing website which had basically fantastic aerial photography of all the Odyssey settlements, every single variant of Odyssey settlement, and beautifully detailed sort of information on where every terminal was and where the alarms were, and every sort of bit that you could interact with. A sort of really invaluable resource for people doing on-foot gameplay. And it hadn't really occurred to me that the website would come to a hosting issue. Anyway, Martin GW has posted just today, I think, on the forum that they are rehosting Quiz Engine's fantastic OMG website. I can't remember what OMG stood for now. Odyssey something Material Gatherer, which has So Martin GW is rehosting the website, and there's a link to that. Next up, just a nice quick video from Commander Exorcist popped up literally today. Do go and subscribe to Exorcist. He does lots of nice videos. He sort of alternates between little thinky talky pieces and some tutorials, and then his exploration series out there. It's really good stuff. This is so simple. It almost doesn't need saying, and yet somehow it did. It's lovely. It's just a video about the fact that those terminals that you can go to, you can run up to in a settlement, and typically when I tend to use them, it's because I'm looking for a particular locker or something, and I go to the terminal and I scroll through the buildings and find the thing I'm looking for. He's just illustrating that those terminals are incredibly useful. Like if you don't know the layout of settlements and you want to know where the control panel is that turns the alarm off, you can find it on the terminal. If you're looking for an NPC who has maybe level 3 security clearance, so you can go and scan them and steal their identity, it will tell you on the terminal. They're amazingly useful, and you can crack into terminals using e-breaches, which Spurs did a video on using. So yeah, kind of obvious stuff, but really nice to point it out. Right, I'm going to hand over to Claire for this one. There's something called 10K the Buckyball way coming.
Hey, there is. We're doing it. This is what me and Alec were doing all afternoon on Thursday. We forgot that we were live and there were other people there because we were too busy chatting to each other about this. So we've worked out between the two of us a race that we're going to do for the 10K Your Way challenge. It is just, again, more raising awareness, more cool things for the 10K Your Day with special effect. So the whole point of it, we found planets, it was like planet 10K in a system. They're
moon of the 10th planet.
Yeah, they're technically moons, but the game calls them planets. So I've called it planets on the flyer because that's what the game calls it. That's all before anyone calls me out on that. But yeah, it's planet 10K. They are all just over 10K light seconds from the main star, like all of them added together. They're all just over 10K light seconds from the main star. So we have an idea of doing something a bit like a Total Recall race, but instead of driving your SRV, what was it, 5,000 before?
It used to be 5 kilometers.
And now it's going to be 3,333, so that you can drive 10 kilometers as well as part of this. And then you come back to a station. We will have a regulation and a unlimited race. But there's more.
It's 3 10Ks for the price of one.
3 10Ks for the price of one, but also there's more. The winner of each, the regulation and the buckyball race,
it's going to win £10,000.
No, Special Effect have very, very kindly donated a Special Effect paint pack. So that is a Sidewinder, a Crate Mark II, and an Anaconda Special Effect skin, and the little exclamation mark decal. They will be going to each of the winners. But there's more. Everyone who enters, gets their name on the leaderboard, will go in, their name will get put into a hat, and I will draw somebody from at random to win a third, because Special Effects have given me 3 packs to give away with this. So there are prizes. It's Special Effect. So, but 10K the buckyball way. Look for a forum post this week when I have time. But it will be out soon, but it's all doing stuff for 10K Your Way, and the Special Effect, which is a phenomenal charity. There we go.
Amazing.
Do you want me to keep talking?
No.
For the next one.
Can't wait. Oh yeah, actually, do you know what? Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Hey, are you in the southwest of the UK or not? I'm willing to travel. Are you at a loose end on Saturday? Come and play werewolf with us in a pub. I don't know. I don't know how many people are gonna be there. We have, as always, we have a little thing to give to you. It is completely free to come and hang out in the pub. There is a link in the show notes for more information. It's a pub just outside Bristol. It's probably going to rain, but at that point, we'll be glad of it. What I will also include is a link in the show notes to the 10K Your Way stream team, so you can see anyone who's raising money currently for the 10K Your Way stuff. If you want to catch on to them and ping some cash that way. Yay, Witherspoon will be there. And Alex Axe. Witherspoon heard werewolf and he was like, I'm going.
Awesome.
Yeah, come and hang out.
I really like this week's community news because I don't have to do anything apart from hand over to other people. Somebody tell us about ECM 2025. No, do you know what? I'm joking.
I can do it.
No, it's fine. I saw this announcement as well. So there are still tickets left for ECM 2025, which is hurtling towards us. It's happening in August. Anyone who still plans on coming to ECM 2025 and wants to take advantage of the discount hotel rate, that deal ends in 2 weeks. Tickets might not sell out in 2 weeks, but if you want to get a hotel room at the venue where ECM is taking part and you want to cash in on the deal they've arranged, then you've got probably slightly less than 2 weeks now to deal with that. EliteCommunityMeet.info for all your Elite Community Meet info. That'll do. And that is this week's Community Corner. It's very quiet. Hello?
Yeah, Colin's very quiet.
Uh-oh. Let me just quickly inflate a secondary host.
Yes, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now, can you?
Yeah, it was like with the other side of the room. It was very funny.
Oh, no. That means I'm going to have to quit. I'm going to have to quit the bar, because this happens when I'm in the bar at the same time. Anyway, if you have a community event taking place soon and you'd like us to shout about it across the airways, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or emails at info@laveradio.com, or Alec will hunt you down, because that's the kind of thing he does. Right. In-game events, what has been happening this week? Well, there's only one thing on Galnet News at the moment, and that is the result of the CG. The battle at Beta 3 Tucani has ended with the Empire declaring victory. To say this was an absolute whitewash is an understatement. Yes, it's more like the Emperor kicked Delaney's arse so hard, he's now putting out a call for vast amounts of soothing preparation H for the Pirate King. Yes, he was. They did not do well. They did not do well at all. And I helped.
I didn't. I did not. I did lift nary a finger. It was fun.
So yes, that probably another CG this week. Who will it be? Will it be Denton Betrayers versus Torval? Will it be Oh no, we've already had one with Winters, haven't we? Who's left?
We normally look to Volt for that information. Volt usually has the information about who's left. Yeah. He's always telling me who's there.
So moving on for the moment to the Power Play rankings. Still as usual, in 12th place we have Torval with 568 systems. She has gained 25 this week though. In 11, gaining 13 systems, we have Winters, who's now got 601. Petraeus gains another 7 systems in 10th place, and he's up to 644. The aforementioned arse-kicked Delaney has only gained 3 systems, and he's up to 668 in 9th. And then we have more movement. Kane has fallen a place from 7th to 8th, and she has 799 systems. That's 16. Which means Antal has gone up to 7th with 802 systems, having gained 22 systems this week. So yes, a bit of movement there. Only slightly ahead with 818 in 6th place is Archer, having gained 8. And Lee Young-Roo is well ahead of Archer at 973, gaining 26 systems again this week. In 4th place, we have Grom, gaining 11 systems up to 1,085. Now, Arissa has lost 4 systems in 3rd, so she's now down to 1,444. More on that later. Mahon has gained 18 systems in 2nd place, and he's up to 1,535. However, the Blue-Haired Princess, Aisling Duval, she is now roaring ahead, having gained another 27 systems, and she's now at 1,593. So that are your Power Play rankings this week.
What about more Arissa then?
Well, Arissa got kicked because that was the adjustments. Remember that the on-foot data got disabled.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so there was a lot of systems where how shall I put this, unsanctioned Arissa players were exploiting the data undermine loop, and they were trying to take over Sol and a lot of other things. So a lot of Arissa's gains had been wiped out because she shouldn't have had that many in the first place. So yeah, that's
point out that Arissa has more strongholds and more fortifieds than anybody else.
Yes, she does, but she did. I thought that this was all worked out by the number of systems which and their population. So
that's how the game ranks it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how they rank it at the moment. So Aisling having the most systems kind of has the most population, but yeah, We'd have to ask for clarification because it just seems to go on total system number. Yeah. So yeah, on-foot data to undermine or acquire systems is still disabled. We will await to see whether or not Frontier plug that loophole or just, as they did with escape capsules, just say, sod it, you can't use them anymore. Which is a bit of a shame.
AKA, we can't find a fix.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to stop using it.
Which
It's really annoying for like a cane person where I think it might just be cane people. There might be another one as well. Please let me know if there is, but there is a very specific thing that that cane people get a bonus for one of these things that has been disabled. I think the escape pod things.
With Arissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've actually replaced that. There was a couple of months ago they replaced all the factions that, although they haven't updated they haven't actually updated any of the documentation yet, but they have changed the mechanics so that they've got things that to replace whatever the escape pod mechanics. So
Has Kane got it as well? Has she?
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it'll be back in our show notes back then because and they did that with all of the escape pod ones because they couldn't fix it. So yeah. So yeah, that's power play at the moment. A little bit of movement, but the Blue Head Princess is basically winning. Boo. So it's that time of the week again.
Score alert!
Must admit, every time I hear Mrs. J Anthrax actually sing that, it does leave me with
Brilliant,
goosebumps.
isn't it? It's so good.
It is, yeah.
Anyway, just to put this quickly, everything seems to be on sale. Yeah, if you go through the sales section of the store, you'll see a lot of ship kits and ships and a whole load of bits and pieces on the sale. There's nothing new because I suspect they're keeping their powder dry until a certain big ship arrives. But yeah, that's
Is the
what's
game
happening.
actually for sale on the Frontier store?
I was just about to get to that.
Oh, okay. Oh, I jumped in the gun. Sorry.
There's an awful lot of cosmetics these days, aren't there? When you start scrolling down this list, and then you look to the right and you notice the size of the scroll bar, and you think, Jesus.
They do have. I say they have a couple of new-ish ones. In that, like all of the summer ones are back. So like the ones that you don't see all year round, and the ones that we had them as drops. Over the summer, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, and they're back. They're back to buy. They're not there all year round. So there are effectively new-ish things, but they're not brand new.
I found the cheapest thing on the store.
Come on,
anything for free.
You can get a pair of aviators for 12 arcs. Glasses, you know.
Yeah.
I thought they used to be free.
I'm sure they used to be free.
Well, as long as they don't do a monocle for 50 quid. So
only if it comes to the top hat too.
Yeah, woman horse armor. Ironically, it's also Steam sales season. So if you have not got a copy of Odyssey, you can pick that up for $5.99. Stand-alone Elite at the moment is $4.49. And if you are listening to this and you don't have or have never played Elite, what are you doing listening to this? Then there's the deluxe edition where you can get both for a massive £8.79. So yeah, there's a. If you want another account, that although I think I've got too many, now's the time. Right. Actually, we don't know whether or not it's cut price on the.
I can
the
answer
actual
that
store.
question right now.
Okay. Good.
No,
No.
you can't. It's not
Why
reduced.
does something never do that on their own?
Because it's
store?
easier to do it on Steam, and it's easier to just like click a button on Steam to get involved in the summer sale. I can't remember what the last time they've ever done it.
It's been ages now.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Actually, I can't remember last time they did it on Epic until they did give Elite Standard away for free on Epic, but yeah. So yes. Right. With that, I think we'll take an ad break and come back with the talk about the new ship.
This July, Special Effect are inviting you, Commander, to complete 10k your way.
You choose the method to make it to 10k. Like this Commander taking 10,000 pictures of their Aspen front of things.
This Commander has flown 10k into the black.
I'm really far away. This one is waving at 10,000 NPCs.
My arms are so sore.
Fully explore 10k class star systems.
Drive 10k away from your settlement.
Mine 10,000 tons of ore.
Sell 10,000 mugs.
Make it to 10k your own unique way.
Visit specialeffect.org.uk and sign up for 10k your way.
Oi, how you doing, my brother? So you run some data and you left your little sidey and you're starting to think about maybe a ship that can punch a little bit harder. Well, the Killback, the one with the little flappy wings, is just what the doctor ordered. It is multi-crew enabled and is the smallest ship with a fighter bay, so you can point and they will do your bidding. Ha! It's got 3 utility mounts, 2 small and 2 medium hard points, plus a whole batch of compartments. So if you want a bit of fun, grab a Killback, my son.
New from Azimuth Biotech, it's Tickle Me Thargoid. Tickle Me Thargoid is fun for all the family. Teach your little anti-Xeno commander the difference between an Orthrus and a Cyclops, a Basilisk and a Medusa.
Count the hearts. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a Cyclops.
Teach them their weakness and how to exploit them.
Now rip out the hearts, one by one.
I don't want to.
Do it. Using the tool. Do it. Now stomp on its face. Smash its face in.
I've got them.
Tickle Me Thargoid. Available now from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers.
It's finally here. The Panther Clipper Mark II. The biggest, baddest shaver in town is back and now has 25% more trimming storage capacity for the same amount of physical space. Because science. Size doesn't need to mean inconvenience with our new foldable hand grips to fit the charging pad. No need for any other clippers or cutters. The Panther Clipper Mark II is all the shaver you'll need. The Panther Clipper Mark II from Saracen. Are you happy now?
Oh, a round of applause for that. Yes, well, as has been mentioned, the Panther Clipper has now been revealed properly. You thought the T9 was a big ugly, fat fellow. That has nothing on the Panther Clipper Mark II. Like the crate, the Mark I no longer exists. There was an FU last Wednesday where Zach introduced us to Curtis and Chris, who took us through the Panther Clipper and its uses. Surprise, surprise, it's a massive cargo transporter. And they gave us some stats. Well, it is quite interesting. The top speed is faster than a T9 at 182 meters a second. The jump range is less than a T9 at 7.34 fully laden. And this we're assuming that this is all E-rated at the moment. So yeah, and it's 1,238 tons is the absolute maximum cargo capacity. Everybody now looks up their spreadsheet.
Nobody remembers what they did.
I can't remember what I did. I know it was close to that, but I can't remember.
Are you wanting me to tell you?
It's the silence. I would love to know what I picked.
Well, I will tell you, I don't have all of them very, very much to hand. I do have some stats for what people made decisions on or like said on the form. Obviously, when we get to it, when we find out the price, well, I'll probably end up doing this again. But we had a whole range. We had 164 legitimate answers that were numbers. There were some that weren't numbers, which range from 8 to 8,250.
Wow.
Yep.
Someone was very hopeful. I'm just going to say I won't call you out by name, but I understand your hope. We had the median was 1,250, the mode 1,200, and the mean 1,416. So median, good shout. We had 164 entries over the 34 days in which the guesses were open. The most answers on a single day was on the 23rd of May when there were 40 entries. People were fairly consistent with the guesses across the board, but even if we take the outliers off, the range is still 1,958 as far as the spread of things. But there were quite a lot of conservative guesses. I know mine was shorter. As far as the Lave crowd is concerned, mine was shorter. Epaphras's was shorter. I know Alec won. Alec came really close. Alec would have won. Would have been one of the people that I picked names out from a hat with, were it not for one other person who pipped him to the post.
I wasn't spot on then.
You did 1,224.
Oh,
the person who won, as far as this is concerned, was gave 1,225, and I'm kind of mad because it was an odd number and they've won an odd number, but they were the closest without going over, and that was Commander Optiplex. So I will do my very best to reach out to you, Commander Optiplex, probably when we have both of the answers, so I can send out the same bits to each person who wins. But Commander Optiplex was the closest without going over.
Yeah. Well done.
There we go.
Well done. But at least Alec is closest from the Lave Radio crew.
Alec was closest, yeah.
Yes.
I think me, Epaphras, and Alec were all under. Everyone else was over. So
that sounds about right. So yeah, they also showed us stats for the long range and a balanced build. Even with the long range, it didn't go that far. But then when you actually compare it to the T9, it and the Imperial cutter, it still does well. Of course, we're assuming that all these are stats are E-rated, so
yeah,
we'll
just say the long range. They put a Guardian FSD booster on the long range, but they haven't. I guess I don't think
we don't know what they've done to it. That's the thing yet.
No, I know it's a bit.
I don't get why they didn't show the standard components.
I almost feel This is a bit cynical, but I almost feel like the entire point of this post with the three, oh, this is what you could do for full cargo, this is what you could do for long, is to admit that they didn't tell us that it was 1238 and to tell us that it's 1238. Because that's
Yeah,
what everyone was
100%.
screaming it for. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, why didn't they just tell us the number? And then a day later, they posted these 3 builds, and one of them happened to have the number that everyone wanted.
Because like it's all well and good them saying, "Oh yeah, no, everyone can do the math," and it couldn't. It wasn't clear because people got it wrong, and there was discourse over it. It was a very weird time to have people like telling me categorically that it was 1238. And being like, yeah, no, I know it's 1238. I want confirmation from Frontier that it's 1238, because if we don't have that, it was really, really frustrating. And then we go through all of this, and then in an hour later, someone would come in and be like, oh no, it's 1430. And this is why it's not clear.
There were just so many people wrong on the internet. It was
Yeah.
it was exciting.
Like, you can't have
times.
anyone wrong on the internet. No such thing.
So yeah, but there is more to the ship than just cargo. There is. There's a new bridge layout. There's a brand new bridge that's in this ship.
Right.
From what we've seen of it, is very nice. There are 3 additional seats for crew. However, they have confirmed that it's 1 gunner and a space for 2 fighter pilots. So yeah, you can actually turn this into a genuine battle bus because it has 10 hard points.
You've been playing Frontier 2, not Frontier, for that stupid game with that kids play.
Fortnite?
Yeah, that.
What about?
Colin's going on about his battle bus.
Oh.
Isn't that what they call the bus thing that they jump in Fortnite as well?
No idea. Is that?
No
I fear you're losing the room, Ben. Just gonna say.
Yeah.
What else has the type 10 has 10 hard points, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the only one that can rival this would be the Type 10, the Defender. Yeah, it has more. No, it doesn't have large. Oh, does it have large hard points?
Yes, it's got large. I'm desperately like trying to scroll to my notes very quickly. It's got.
It's got 2 hard points, 2 large hard points, 4 medium hard points, and 4 small hard points.
Yes, that feels right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it can certainly defend itself, especially if you put turrets on all of them. So yeah, and it's got the power capacity to handle them, which is a very important thing. One thing that should be mentioned is there is a special Type 8 and Type 9 slot. These are unique to the Panther Clipper, which gives you an extra. Well, there's a bit of an argument about this, whether it's extra 40%
no, it's 50.
or whether it's 160%. But
no, it's 50.
It's 50.
The upshot is that these are special ones, which only the Panther Clipper can take, and that's the reason why it's
because science.
Yes. Obviously, someone's been visiting Gallifrey and managed to work out a reverse engine bit of TARDIS engineering.
The crates are all octagonal, aren't they, or something? So maybe they just found a better way to squish them in.
Yeah, the crates are optimized. They've used proper tessellation technology rather than having octagons. They've moved to hexagons, which is easier to tessellate. But yeah, as Katie said, they've just taken out a couple of shelves. They've made the walls slightly less thick in the corridors, and you're fine.
Well, they did manage to double the T9. They did manage to double the T9's cargo capacity at one point, which was a bit of a shocker. But yes, why not? We'll have that. Yeah, it is just as maneuverable as a T9, i.e., not very. And we do know that there's a stellar version coming which includes a ship kit spoiler.
Yes.
Yes.
Spoiler on Ash. The spoiler looks rubbish, but Karen.
And finally, before we unleash the crew, it's going to be released in 21 days. 3 weeks today, we will have this ship available to us, which is nice. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it to come out of Vanguards, which is coming out sometime in August.
Yeah.
They're now saying so. But yeah, the fact that this is coming along, I quite like it. So right, going around the crew, we've seen. We've finally got some meat on the bones here. What do you think, Claire?
Oh, I've got lots of different thoughts about it. Obviously, I'm very happy about it. I think it's gonna. I'm not hauling until I have it in my betwixt my thighs. But I have a couple of different issues with it with regard to the like all of the greebling and stuff that's on the outside. And it's not. I'm not going to worry about it as soon as I'm in the ship because I'm not going to see it and I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to be driving it from the cockpit, so it doesn't matter. But I think, and I've said this before because Alex sent me lots of pictures of other ships, but some of the shapes of some of the, like all of the different panels on the ship, I know why it's there. I was there at PitCon. I watched the presentation where they said they add all of these things to make it look like size, but some of them really do look Tetris together, and looking at it takes me out of it. I lose my immersion slightly, and that's not to say that it's necessarily a bad thing, but just for me, I do like seeing where you disembark from because it's slightly off center. Really like that. I think that's very cool. I like all of the big, like greebly panel things that they stick on. It's just all of the lines take me out a little bit. But when I am flying it, I will not give a fuck because I will not be able to see them, and that's pretty much my main takeaway from it. I would add, I really, really like we haven't mentioned the Panther Clipper Owners Club decal that they talked about. Yeah. And I really liked the fact that was on a pink background. I thought that was a really cool little nod that they slipped in there. So yeah, I'm happy. I can't wait to finish my flying. I finished my
asteroid base.
That's it, the asteroid base, the ice base. I was looking. The word I was looking for in this heat was ice. I can't wait to finish my ice asteroid base in my pink Panther Clipper.
Lovely. It does roll off the tongue, pink Panther Clipper.
It really does. Mark II.
You know they're gonna hold back that pink paint job.
I'll wait.
Build some demand.
I'll wait. I'm patient.
Excellent. Okay, Alec, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I really liked it. I sort of have no notes in it or no complaints. I obviously can't complain about the capacity, given it's pretty much exactly what I guessed. I'm fine with the capacity. There was a thing the week before. I think it was a video by Ricardo's Gaming, maybe, about too little wouldn't work and too much could be a bit game breaking. It's perfectly on that sweet spot. I think it's nice. The thing about the 7 and 8 cargo racks holding 50% more is, I guess it's interesting. I mean, putting aside the science of how that's supposed to work. It's interesting because the thing with military slots, which they kind of likened it to a little bit, is you can't put anything else in them. So they're sort of sitting there, wasted slots, taunting you, and they're really irritating. Whereas the nice thing with these is you can go ahead and put anything else you want in them, but you can also put these special racks in them. So it's
no, that's not quite right. You can only put racks or fuel tanks in them.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that true? And I missed.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
That's what they said.
Okay.
I can only go on the information that I've been given.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I suppose even if that's true, you can still put ordinary racks in them rather than looking at your empty military slots and going, "Oh, I don't want to put any." I don't know. Maybe the analogy breaks down a bit in that case. But yeah,
I mean,
it's
you've
cool.
got passenger ships, and they've got dedicated passenger, like the luxury things. I think it is. Or at least they could, unless they've changed it.
It's more like
they
that.
need to have that.
What I really liked from the show is that you can that we got to see the animation, the takeoff, because it's really cool. It is really cool. I love the way the rear thrusters sort of slide up their inclined kind of ramp so that their position is above the front thrusters. It's really nice.
Always remind me of tiger claws. Those things when they land.
Yeah. I can't wait to get one and like look at it up close and really sort of go round it, because that's a lot of acreage in this. I know exactly, incidentally, because I was in that stream with when Claire was talking about the thing. I know what she means about the greebling. Like anyone that saw that PitCon thing, they talked about golden ratio, and the little classic sort of golden ratio of squares within squares within squares getting smaller and smaller. And there are bits on the surface of the Panther Clipper that are a very literal interpretation of that. And I was desperately trying to find pictures of the underside of the space shuttle and Boeing 747s and things to illustrate that they had panels within panels, and they do.
It's all squares,
but not in such an obvious golden ratio kind of But I'm really not going to complain about that. I think it looks awesome. Can't wait.
Then right, Ben.
I've got mixed feelings, honestly. I like it. It just feels to me like the Panther Clipper's little brother. And that makes me a bit sad, I think.
Because of the capacity?
Because the Panther Clipper should not be able to fit inside a Coriolis. It's too damn big.
Like that's definitely from a different game and from a different
I know all that. I know that.
I thought we clarified that was apocryphal and not true.
I thought it did fit. I'm now going to have to go back to first encounters.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I want to actually find out from someone who's actually played First Encounters, because I never have, and find out the dimensions of the original Panther Clipper and compare it to the Mark II.
Well, I will say this, Ben. Having seen the animations, this thing does just fit inside the slot, just like the old Panther Clipper in Frontier First Encounters. That did fit through the slot, and there was about.
I mean, I like that it's got
a
to sort of squish in on itself to get in.
Yes, you couldn't dock it with the landing gear down, and I have a sneaking suspicion that actually seeing the landing gear deployed, you'll have the same problem.
That'd be amazing that it won't fit through the slot if the gear's down. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I just have. Do we have any more information about NPCs flying the newer ships?
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm just thinking. You know what the NPCs are like with the Beluga.
Oh right.
What the hell are they going to be like flying one of these things?
Is it right that they don't? That there are none of the newer ships have been flown
they are.
by NPCs?
They have been.
They have.
They have been. I think since Power Play, since Power Play update, I think it was. They brought out. They started flying the newer ships. It might be the colonization update, but it is in a more recent. One of the more recent updates. They started the. I've come across NPCs flying Corsairs and all. And Panther and Pythons, all manner of.
Awesome.
Excellent. Because I must admit, I haven't been looking for it, but I have been looking for it for the last couple of weeks, thinking, hang on a second, are players only flying these ships? But I see what you mean, Ben, because I have seen the NPC queue whenever a beluga starts approaching.
Yeah.
In fact, I do remember, I think I've got a 600 credit fine to pay on one where I crashed into a beluga coming through.
I literally picked up a fine because of Crate Mark II of all things, was just refusing to go through the docking bay at Lave, and I didn't have the patience to wait for them to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Bit
of a
I'll
pain.
deal with that. Yeah. I personally I like it. I do. I like the cockpit. I kind of like the fact it's at the front of the ship, but I love the fact that the Anaconda, for example, is much more like a traditional carrier ship where it deliberately shows you the docking stuff. Not the docking stuff, it shows you all the cargo in front of you, and I quite like that. And I quite, even though it would break the Panther Clipper's the original Panther Clipper's silhouette, I like the idea of looking out over your domain from the bridge of a ship.
I know what you mean.
Right, I
but
see what you mean.
But
Yeah.
don't you find in practice, certainly with the Anaconda, that
Oh, you
doesn't
can't see
work
anything below you.
as well? It doesn't work as well as you'd imagine. It doesn't seem like a vast ship stretching out in front of you because of your perspective. Maybe it does in VR.
To me, it does.
Okay. I just find it's like a little point because your perspective is so low. You kind of don't really.
Yeah.
I don't get the sense of this thing stretching out in front of me at all.
No, you don't really get that feeling of how long the Anaconda is until you are in VR, and then all of a sudden you realise, oh no, the front of my ship is 100 and so meters that way. And you sort of you remember it's like the Corvette. You're right at the back, and you're there thinking, okay, it's in fact, is it just the Corvette and the Anaconda where the cockpit is right at the back?
It's not a lot.
I think it's just
And
those
frankly,
two.
I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, really. But I do like looking out over the front of your ship and seeing all your hard points coming out, and there's something. It feels slightly special.
I know what you mean. I like the crate in the Type 8 specifically because I can look out the
Yeah.
windows and see things like hard points deploying,
Yeah.
and I think that's really cool.
But then if they did this to a Panther Clipper, it wouldn't be a Panther Clipper, so shut the fuck up, Ben.
I love the
yeah,
fact you're self-editing right now.
It's so easy, isn't it?
I do like it. I will definitely be using it for doing my hauling. Unless it flies like completely on dog shit, I suspect I'll be retiring my Imperial Cutter from doing hauling to being one of these. I'm interested to know if, Claire, will you be thinking about taking it into a war zone and just letting all the turrets do their thing?
No, hell no. I'm going to be using I'm going to be using 1,236 cargo and equipping a docking computer and letting Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah, I must admit, the first thing that I'm looking at that, especially seeing the docking routines, I'm there thinking, that one's having a docking computer.
Oh yeah.
Right. Well, my opinion. Let's see. I love the animations. I love the way it lands. It takes off. It looks meaty. I mean, I can now that you guys. I wish you hadn't actually pointed this out about the Tetrising of it, because I had noticed it. I thought it was fantastic until you pointed it out.
So sorry. I'm not sorry.
No, yeah, we know you're not sorry. Yeah, we
I'm
know
not
you're
sorry.
not sorry.
It pisses me off. Everyone else needs to see that it's pissing me off.
That's right. I'm pissed off. That means you should be pissed off too. Well,
you need to feel my pain.
But yeah, I love the animations on it. I disagree with people saying it looks like a giant frog.
It's one very particular angle is all.
Yeah, it does give me good Thunderbird 2 vibes. I'll tell you that, which is awesome. And yeah, the fact that it's got you can put a double fighter bay in it and have a full crew that will defend your ship. I would love to be able to take it in a full crew, just in a dangerous, not to a full combat zone, but definitely into a couple of hostile fire USSs.
So house res or something.
Yeah, just so that we can put it through a combat test, just to see. But it is going to make hauling for my asteroid base a lot easier. I can see the T10 being retired, the T9 being retired completely. Unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame because I quite like, in some weird way, I still like my T9.
I can't blame you there. Yeah, I can't blame you that.
For some reason, there's something charming about something that ugly, but it's just me, I suppose. So overall, I think thumbs up. I think we're all going to get one, and yeah. So good job, Frontier.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
Lave Radio approves.
There was a lot of discourse. There's been a fair amount of discourse, especially during the actual show, where it was like, you're not getting my money if it's less than 2,000. And to those people, it's just like, that's what, like the original Panther Clipper in what was it called? Frontier, what's it?
Encounters, yeah.
First Encounters. That one had 2,100 cargo. So I understand why they're like, oh, I want my 2,100. But it's a different game. If it had if this Panther Clipper had 2,100 cargo capacity, no other ships would be used. Do you know what I mean?
But in the old system, though, you'd have to take everything else out, and that would make that ship unflyable. So when they say that it had a maximum of 2,100, it was just no. It was 2,100 of a ship they could do. What?
Do we know? Actually, sorry, I see in the full cargo they are literally taking the shields out and everything, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And one thing that I am relieved about, because this is a major difference between the First Encounters and this game, is you don't have to wait for crew.
The other thing that I was gonna say about it has fully gone out of my head. Like, what was the other comments? It was 2,100 or 20. I'm not pending arcs on it less than 2,000. It's going to be dead in the water if it's less than 2,000. What was the other thing that I saw people saying about it?
Deal breaker on it.
I don't see.
Oh my God.
I don't remember them being that. I remember seeing those comments.
There were a lot of stuff about that, and then there was one other thing, and my brain has just completely lost it. That's frustrating.
To tell you the truth, I mean, I think this cargo capacity is absolutely fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with Alex and was it Ricardo's Gaming who said that if you put more cargo capacity in this ship, it will unbalance the game. I completely agree with that.
There's problems potentially with too much.
Yeah.
Do we think, because we don't, with these builds they've posted, we don't know what size modules, and we're assuming there's no engineering, but the jump range could be an issue, couldn't it?
I've seen people saying that they can get it to sit. They theory crafting that, given all of the information that we've been given, assuming that these are all E's, that they would be able to get it to 60 as an explorer.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Not fully laden, but like
No,
30 something fully laden. The other thing that we haven't been told, and people are just assuming is a dead cert, which I still don't think I don't think it is a dead certain. I'd be surprised if it's not, but it's still not been officially said.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
I'm going to say SCO drive.
It will have SCO.
Fine. They haven't
confirmed that.
They haven't said it.
No, and it's not listed. It's not listed in any of the builds we've got. We've only assumed. But I must admit, I've been using a T9 with an SCO drive, and it doesn't jump around as much as the other ships do.
That's because it's so thick and it just can't do it. It just forces it. It forces its way through the vacuum of space without having to take.
Maybe the Panther Clipper just doesn't need one because it's stable enough anyway.
It just bodies it as it goes through.
Yeah. Do you remember what the other thing was, Claire, or should we move?
That was the other thing. It was the SCO drive.
Right. Okay. Right. In that case, Claire, Question of the week.
Hey, yeah. So we're going to go on a theme. And the question of the week was: will you be a member of the Panther Clipper Owners Club? And what are your thoughts about it? And we had loads of answers, so let's start. Alec?
Cool, let's go. Mardante Soloist says, depending on how many arcs, I may be buying this in the store. Otherwise, I'll wait for it to be sold in-game for credits. Those are indeed the two options. Sorry, it's a bit sarcastic.
Girl Scout 88, as long as it's not $100. Well, it's not $100.
It isn't. We know how much it is.
It's not. It will be about $20 for the big one, the Stella.
Indeed. Trigon says they will definitely be picking one up for ARCs. It's more cargo for colonization for them and more dollars for Frontier to develop the game. By the way, anyone see the change coming up to the ARC store? Looks like more bigger ships are on the way. 100% accurate, Trigon, you're right.
Bigger is better.
Hence.
Hmm?
Nothing.
Okay. Talk about bigger is better. Kill Team 01 will be shaving their asteroid smooth in all the best hotspots.
That was something that I didn't mention. I think it looks like it's going to be a really good, at least a strip miner, not a core miner, but it looks like you could fit it really nicely for mining.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what they alluded to on FU again, didn't they?
Yeah, they dropped a hint about that, but then again, they did also say, and they'll probably turn it into things that we never imagined. So watch out for your Panther Clipper passenger liner.
It would be a great rescue. No, it wouldn't. It's not going to handle. It doesn't matter if Thargoids aren't a thing anymore. It's okay. Moving on.
Epsilon Orbital says, I likely won't be picking it up immediately as I'd rather progress from a cutter to it, but I'll likely pick it up for arcs or credits in the future.
Right. Volderoth cannot wait. Colonization will run so much better with his guess 1,100 tons plus cargo capacity. Well, yeah. Loving the new ships. Take my money, FDev.
Nice. That 90s kid says it speaks volumes when players. Sorry, I've got to patch my glasses up my nose. Speaks volumes when players are worried about max cargo when those same slots can be used for health pool increases and survivability. No, they can't. It's like everyone purposely held themselves back and can't see what the rest of the game offers. This is a great example of that. Firstly, those cargo racks, those two big ones can't. They only cargo or fuel. So, hey, if you want to add more fuel to your ship for survivability, that's great. Follow up. Hey, blaze your own trail, play whatever way you want to play, my guys.
Right. Commander Andy Fireblade Musa is saying, I'll be getting the Stellar Edition day one. I'm 10 years and 8,000 hours into this game. So it's well purchasing these ships to support the game that has given me so much fun.
Yay. Yay, Andy.
Yeah, it's nice that people are willing to put the money to say I'm just supporting the game, but I'm hoping you're actually putting up the arcs because you actually want the ship. Because, otherwise, might imply
I think it's going to be pretty popular, even with the little price.
Up there with the Mandalay, I think.
Yeah. Straya says, I'll pick one up, maybe even the Stellar Edition if the fitting is sensible. The cargo capacity plus extra optionals for things like a fighter bay and shields is exciting. Finally, a fighter that will be able to fight a bit without compromising massive space.
Yeah,
I do like, incidentally, we didn't mention it at the top when we were describing its features, I don't think, but I really like that they managed to sort of squeeze in the little nod to the original design with its off-center prong without forcing people to have the off-center prong if they don't like it. It's neat.
I like that.
That's
That's quite a nice one.
Really like that.
I've got Earl237, hoping that we get the hashtag Team Pink Panther paint job, and hoping it does not fly worse than a T9. Sorry, it will. But over 1,000 tons of hauling, plus shields, plus it looks to have a decent jump range. Really? This is what's been needed for a while for hauling. Well, we'll see what it's like when we A-rate it. And then Felicity gets her engineering chops on that on the FSD.
Yeah.
On that comment about it flying worse than a T9, and kind of it seems like most people are assuming that it will handle awful. Have we considered the possibility that it actually might not handle too bad?
Not even in the slightest for a moment. Unless this flies like the cardboard box that the shoe came in, I'm not interested.
Fair enough. I just think I'm just holding out this vague little hope. Like all the new ships have handled really quite nicely, and it's got a hell of a set of engines on it. I don't know. I just have this vague thought. Wouldn't it be funny if actually it handles way better than people expect?
Can you imagine? It'd be amazing. It would be funny. It would be funny.
Give it a big enough set of thrusters, it won't care, will it?
Yeah, I just feel like those thrusters are that massive, and that's the minimum to just get it off a planet.
Yeah, maybe.
Could you imagine if she can't? Sorry.
Imagine if you land on a planet and the gravity is so big that you can't actually get it off the
you
planet.
land on a 2-3G world and you're like, nope.
And it's like, oh shit, oh no. Unqualified for Life says, I won't be an owner because I'm a console player, but it does look cool. Unqualified for Life, might I introduce you to GeForce Now? Is that it? Is that the thing?
GeForce Now.
Yeah.
GeForce Now. If you're a console player, you can play.
Yeah, I have a link on the forums. There's a thread explaining how to actually move your Xbox or console account onto GeForce Now, and then go back to your console and play it. So yes, you still will be able to play full Odyssey on there via GeForce Now.
There we go.
Right, Z007. Another person who's only buying things just to support the game that they love. Completely agree. Have no issues with them doing that, and it's their choice, even if they don't like it and they want to support Frontier. I think that's a valid way of playing.
I do agree. I do agree to an extent. I do agree to an extent because I just feel like I know you love the game, but if you're buying something just purely, I don't know.
I have to admit,
I don't believe any of these people are buying it and not liking it.
Yeah.
If they just wanted to give Frontier money, they could buy a dozen horrible paint jobs from the store and never use them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if Frontier, say, did a subscription, I would probably be very tempted to do that. And if that subscription got me access to all the new ships plus new paint jobs as and when they came out, I'd probably be happy with that.
Right. LCU No Fall Like One says, I shall get one and fully engineer it for colonization deliveries. I'm not going to continue with that. I'll purchase one. Shut up, all of you. I'll purchase one for all of my alts to use as auxiliary fuel tanks when I get back to my travels in the black. I would always fill my Type 9 with tritium on long journeys, just conserve fuel on carrier jumps. So there.
Amazing.
Excellent. 7 out of 10 for the comment, 10 out of 10 for the impression. I have nice.
And now have a drink of water.
Yeah, that throat is now very sore. I want it partly because I want to haul more hauling steel.
You're welcome.
And partly to slap a load of turrets on it, fill it with armor and shields for days on end, and sit in a ZZ or CG and laugh like a maniac. Yes, I must admit, the first trade CG with the Panther Clipper is going to be very interesting indeed.
Man, they've got to bump up those numbers. Those will be lucky numbers if they put in normal. Oh God. Daisy Bell, hello, my lovely. I think the Panther Clipper Owners Club decal is very cute. I'm tempted to get one with arcs, but I'm frankly emotionally attached to my Type 9 still. It helped me build my first outpost and conquer many community goals. I'm a bit sad to think Type 9s won't be used much anymore. It depends, really. If the Panther Clipper flies like full ass, but then the Type 9 also flies like full ass, I don't know.
See, this is the problem. I get exactly where they're coming from. Because I like my Type, for some bizarre reason, I said I like my Type 9. And it will be sad to say, okay, you are now no longer needed, Mr.
It'll
Type
be sad
9.
to retire it.
Goodbye,
thing
Big
to
John.
point out, I was going to point this out earlier, but the Panther Clipper is not the first ship to do this. We had a discussion several weeks ago about exactly. You know, I've barely flown anything other than a Mandalay since that damn ship came out. And in some ways, I'm sort of sad that I haven't gone back and flown my crates or my Pythons because I really enjoyed those. But equally, I'm really enjoying flying the Mandalay. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I think
there if you want it.
I think it sort of like also comes down to time served as well.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Because we're like, if you're newer and you've done a lot of running more recently in a Type 9, I'll quite happily never get in a Python again, like a Python Mod 1 again, because I did so much in it. And I've had this conversation before, but had maybe 6 years ago, something came out to replace the Python or to do the job, like the Type 8 had come out 6 years ago, maybe I would have felt a little bit nostalgic about putting my Python away and not using it. I don't know. Hindsight.
Okay, Elvis Cremon saying 100% a day one purchase for me. I've never been a fan of the type ships. Wash your mouth out. And while basking in the cutter isn't bad, the drift just does my head in. Again, wash your mouth out. Can't wait to fully engineer it and actually start on the first Coriolis I placed in my system.
That's a plan, Crem. Save it. Don't do anything until you get the bigger capacity. 50% more, if you will.
Type 7 for the win!
I bet there's a lot of like colonization systems with Corioluses and things that have been planned, but kind of maybe a few thousand tons delivered, and then people start doing the maths and go, Jesus, sod that. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Commander Jarenstad says, I will be from the day it releases. Although my plans aren't that grand, I'll use one to handle fuel for my carrier, transport and transfer. Depending on the jump range and heat management, I might kit one out as an ultra long range tritium hauler too.
Interesting. I have Cybreeze. Def gonna get one. It is the ship. The other ships are boats. Which is a good point, because David Braben's often regarded the ships in Elite as yacht type vessels, not full on ships. So, yeah.
I also think that that's kind of a problem when you're referring to something as a yacht, because it instantly makes people think that they're small and thinks that ship interiors are viable. And you look at the size of the ships that we have, and you spend a couple of hours playing jump ship in a ship which is probably about the size of a Crate Mark II, and then you get lost in it for the 5th time. You know you don't really want ship interiors anymore. Maybe that's just my experience. Silas Resi says, I keep refreshing the Frontier Store website, hoping that it's accidentally made available early. I feel bad for my Type 9, but I'll find a use for her.
Miner. Very good for mining.
Yeah, but so will the Panther Clipper be. I suppose it depends how long a period of time you want to mine because of their capacity.
Now you can mine for even longer, yeah.
Now you can mine for even longer.
Right, Finn McRavens. I'll buy it day one, but probably won't release it until they release a green skin for it. You know why?
It's either Frog or Thunderbird 2. It's Frog or
Yeah, it's one
Thunderbird
of the
2.
two.
Yeah.
If he names it Kermit, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you Team Frog or Team Panther?
No,
Gaz.
Team Frog or Team Thunderbird. That's what we've got to know.
Other question of the week for a really, really
Michael.
quiet week.
Yeah. My ship is Thunderbird 13 at the moment.
Gazubermick. Will I buy it? Yep, definitely. After the Corsair, the Clipper is a ship that will definitely serve a purpose with hauling for CGs and colonization. I, for one, will absolutely not be putting that decal anywhere near my ship, though, unless it said Panther Clipper from Saracen.
Right, I've got Commander Schnales here. I will definitely be getting one. Saying that, it's not as big as I'd hoped for, although nearly. Someone suggested on another forum that the racks might be engineerable, he says, inventing words. I'll be off for that. Maybe all the 7/8 slots could have engineerable racks to bring them up to the higher density. That said, it's big enough to upgrade enough over the Type 9/Imperial Cutter for me to want to try it. How it will fly, though? I'm in the camp where I would want it to fly like a brick. It's huge, it deserves to fly like a brick, but I also want it to be able to be fun to fly. So maybe not so brick-like. I am confused. Whatever happens, it will most likely reduce my colonization shipping times, so it's a must-have, and even more so for the frontier nostalgia. Completely true.
Schnales is stuck in Schrodinger's maneuverability at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? These things were not maneuverable, but then again, the T9's hardly maneuverable either.
It's not maneuverable. It's majestic.
It's a fun enough. It's a fun enough ship to fly. It gets the job done. I want my Panther Clipper to get the job done quicker than a cutter would.
Yeah.
God's Wear Hats. 1200 was their cutoff point. They didn't see the point in paying for it if it wasn't going to be at least 50% bigger than what I can already get for credits in game. However, at the size it is, it's worth paying for the early access, cutting more than a third off the time of any hauling endeavor, which, let's face it, is primarily colonization at the moment.
Completely agree.
100% agree, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, we've got the lovely Ched's Will. Oh yeah, I might even stretch that to that fancy-looking one. It'll be interesting to play with loadouts to see what else it can do other than trading. Oh, and I think the landing on manual will be a fun challenge. I wonder if they mean with or without the
the
rotation correction and everything.
Oh, who knows?
No
Anything,
docking,
all of it.
nothing. Yeah,
flight assist off, everything off.
Everything off. The full docking challenge.
Absolutely not.
There you go, Alec. That's a buckyball attempt, right?
It's probably not that. Like, if you've ever dabbled with learning flight assist off, doing it in something like a Type 9 or a Type 10 is actually kind of easier, because one of the problems with flight assist off is you tend to start oscillating and overcorrecting wildly, and actually a ship that doesn't maneuver too quickly is great for learning, because you can't overcorrect because nothing happens. So it might be quite gentle to land, actually. What I am curious, because I literally saw this today. It's obviously a classic thing that I've seen a lot of people doing. The mail slot flip, where you start heading towards the mail slot, you get yourself on a nice trajectory, and then you flip flight assist off and you flip the ship and
backwards.
and go through backwards. And I saw a video today of somebody doing it. It was on Reddit. Somebody doing it absolutely beautifully in a cutter, and it did make me think I am going to have to try it in a Panther Clipper.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of YouTube shorts and TikToks of people driving a car through a very, very small alleyway, and then basically drifting it round corners and things like that.
Right on this power slide, yep.
Yeah, I sneaking suspect we're going to have the Elite Dangerous equivalent with the cutter. Flight assist off, see if you can get it in.
I wonder if it will Actually, I already know the answer, but I was going to say I wonder if it will fit through installation tunnels, but it won't, will it?
No. It'll be fun watching you try.
Yeah.
God, do you think you'd be able to fly it through the inners of the Coriolis, Alec?
I'm going to say no.
Surely not.
Somebody will prove me wrong, I'm sure.
Someone will try.
Oh, hi Shay.
Hey, see if they can actually just get one of the engine pods to go along the side, so it's kind of like interlocked.
Just lock you in.
Shay or Skur? I've seen Skur fly a cutter through the trench, the Coriolis trench. So who knows?
Oh, what a cutter will fit through that?
Yep. Just
Wow.
It's a tight squeeze, but yeah.
That is insane. I've got to find a clip of that just to admire the piloting skill there. Right. Any other business? Anybody else?
Lovely meet-up Saturday, but we've talked about it already.
Yeah. Well, I have got some news for ECM. The wonderful new models have arrived for the miniatures game, which will includes some new chieftains, a Imperial Courier, and an Apex Adder. Guess which one will be the major target?
No idea.
But I think I'm hoping that we can show on the screen. But one of them, one of the chieftains, the last sentinel, it is that'll be the prize for the ECM competition. I'll be running a point scoring system. Player who manages to get the most points will win it. So yeah, there we go. As created by Little Grey, printed by Little Grey, and then obviously painted by the wonderful Beetlejude. So yes, I've got to put it on its stand now, which is going to be fun. Yes, so ECM in August, Elite Miniatures game. You could win that. Right. I guess shoutouts. So shoutouts, our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio. It broadcasts on a Thursday from 8:30. You can tune in to them at Twitch TV Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, you can check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout outs to the other Elite Dangerous podcasts. That will be the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. Yeah, there's, of course, the wonderful Loose Screws. But if you speak French...
Too hot to speak any languages at the moment. But I will also let the funky music do the talking.
There's the wonderful Elite Dangerous podcast, who also do these fantastic missions as well. So following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and the wonderful Commander Beetlejude. And we'd like to thank all those who have chipped in on the Twitch chat and the in-game commanders. This week are...
we have had everyone's favourite weather system, Commander Steak Typhoon, Actual Genuine Hugh J. Appendage Esquire, Katiana, Fandra, Siberius, Rocky Star, Electro Ace, and JT.
Wonderful. Thanks for all joining up. And of course, special thanks goes to Commander Tokuso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who all created music that we use in the show. But that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find the contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Ben.
Good night.
Thanks to Alec.
Night all.
Thanks to Claire.
Thank you, and thanks to Katie for putting together those stats for the Panther Clipper sweepstake. If I didn't mention that before, I fully meant to, but I just want to make sure that I did say it.
Thumbs up. Thank you, Katie. And of course, special thanks goes to today's tech specialist, the Chris Mark IV.
You're welcome.
Excellent. So, until next time, commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
deserted us. We need a safe word.
Space can be done.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 1st of July, 3311. The Panther Clipper Mark II will cost more for early access than any other of the latest generation of Supercruise overcharge optimised ships, and this is apparently because of its size. The 5 ships released in early access, the Falcon de Lacy Python Mark II and Cobra Mark V, the Lakon Type 8, the Zorgon Peterson Mandalay and the Gutamaya Corsair, were all made available at the price of 16,520 ARCs for the base model, or 33,000 ARCs for the Stellar variant. This pricing will be maintained for small and medium ships, but any new large ships, including the Panther Clipper, will be nearly 20% more expensive at 19,020 ARCs for the base model and 38,000 ARCs for the Stellar variant. Despite this modest price hike, there is likely to be significant demand for the largest cargo ship in the galaxy. Engineer Todd "The Blaster" McQuinn, famed for his work on multi-cannon railguns, is reported to be refusing to take on new clients. Commanders turning up with the requisite stack of 100,000 credits worth of bounty vouchers are unable to pay them in for a chance to meet the engineer with the daftest buzzcut in the galaxy. Unfortunately, the only other engineers offering Grade 5 modification for these weapons are Marcia Hicks and Etienne Dawn, both based in systems near Colonia. Without any explanation for McQuinn's reticence, perhaps it's time for a visit to Felicity Farseer with a Mandalay and for a trip to the centre of the galaxy. Commander LCU No Fool Like One of Cannon Interstellar has launched a scheme to provide low-cost, affordable housing to refugees from last year's invasion of Sol by the Thargoids. The trauma of those terrible events mean that many refugees want to start a new life in a new system. Commander LCU is planning an outpost in Coriolis in the Sinuf WH-F C0 system around the Shepherd Moons 1A and 1B to be commissioned and providing low-cost accommodation no later than Saturday the 6th of July at 23:31, which by coincidence is also the next time the two moons, which are in overlapping orbits, will collide. Commander LCU denies that the regular collision of these two moons every 8 days will be in any way detrimental to the health of his test subjects, and they should be grateful to be living somewhere so exciting. Commanders interested in experiencing an outpost in Coriolis being swallowed whole by a moon and then spat out the other side several hours later are invited to be there in person, as long as they sign a waiver absolving Cannon Interstellar of responsibility.